Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome in Theatre 2. My name is Marinda Hall, and I'm the moderator of this theatre. You're all scattered around a bit, and we would love everyone. We've changed we had everyone sitting here, but now we would like everyone to sit on this side. So could you please move over to this side? And if that doesn't fit, you can sit here front row. That's fine as well. But we've changed our camera, and it's going to be different for our presenter as well. So it would be wonderful if you could move this way. Great. Thank you. Great. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a catwalk. You have this kind of press. Okay, you're Anna Wintour, right? Okay, thank you very much for moving. Our presentation now is also about parking, but now about curbside parking and how you can use a new kind of infrastructure to control curbside access for all uses, and especially for new mobility schemes and this last mile delivery that's important to all of us. Thierry Brousseau from Flowbird is going to tell us something about this. May I please have a round of applause for Thierry? And if you have any questions, we just talked about this. Thierry is open for questions at the end of the presentation, and I'll come along with a microphone. You okay?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No. So, hello everybody. So I'm Thierry Brousseau from Flowbird. I will start with a small introduction about Flowbird, which so then all of you understand where I'm coming from. Flowbird is a company, is a partner of cities for more than 60 years. And our activity is to deliver to cities and operators parking and mass transit ticketing and payment solutions. So we are in 80 countries. You see our solution in more than 4,350 cities with around 300,000 terminals installed in the different cities. We also have application called Flowbird app for parking payment in more than 800 cities. So just to show you what kind of interface are used by the users for mass transit and parking in all those cities. We have a unique portfolio for terminals, for mobile app, for in parking and mass transit, which are used by around 100 million users every week. So that's not the objective, but with this infrastructure, the objective of our subject is more to discuss about the curbside, so coming from on-street parking, and what happens in a curbside management. So curbside or curbside, depending if it's English or American word. Today, curbside is mainly parking, or in the past. You have parking of cars, of two-wheels drive motorbike. But with the digital and the ecological transitions, there is more and more different use of the curbside. And now the curbside is really crowded by a lot of different users. It could be bicycle or a scooter, share mobility schemes, by taxis and ride-hailing operators, by delivery, especially with internet sales. You have a lot of more and more door-to-door delivery, by EV charging, and in near or in coming future, let's say in some years, we will have the arrival of autonomous car. We also have to use this piece of land that we call the curbside, where all these new things goes, and it's needed to park the car or to just put the car in between two different locations, let's say. The curbside is really important, so there is a lot of pressure on it. It has value. it has value because it's a public space. Public space has a cost because you can use it for different things. You can put trees, you can put bicycle lane, you can put a lot of things in this piece of land. It also has value because today, for municipality, when you pay parking, it's a revenue. A big part of revenue that could reduce your taxes. And it has also for cities, on the way they will manage this, on sustainable mobility. You take your car if you can park your car. You will take a scooter if there is scooter. So it's clearly the use and the allocation of this piece of land will have a direct impact in sustainable mobility. It has also a direct impact on if you want to have an inclusive and accessible cities, the way you manage as a city, the way you manage this piece of land will change if the city is accessible or not. So for cities, they really need, they need to really have some lever, some tools to be able to share this curbside, to regulate, so to decide and to put a policy to see who has the right to use this curbside, to monetize for the value, and to control the use of the curbside. That's the clear things. And I will come from on-street parking and explain how we can manage this as a whole. So I come back from a user point of view, a driver. Today, there is, if you see the on-street parking interface, today we speak about omni-channel user interface. That means it's not, you need, if you want to have an accessible and inclusive system, to have different kind of user interface. And on this user interface, you manage the different user and vehicle types. In parking today, if you are resident or not, if you are a professional, if you use an electric car, if you drive a lorry, you don't pay the same amount, and you are recognized because you enter your license plate, for example, into the sales channel, and you have different tarification. More and more, in the past, it was only zone that you have area for a tariff. Now the tariff is more and more based on map, offer, and regulation. And when you have this kind of system, we can put on this map-based offer, we can put all the different allocation. It could be also for a smart delivery zone or special area for a car sharing system. Another thing which is important to have something accessible and inclusive, it's to accept all means of payment when it has to be paid. That's a decision for cities, and to have all sales channels. So that's on one side. With digital parking or digital evolution of the interface, you can do more than parking, and you can also address some other use of the curbside. On the management for the city side, the city needs to set up and control the use and the allocation of the curbside to apply its sustainable mobility and public space sharing policy. I can say two different areas on policy. First, the city needs to be able to map the curb, so to map all this allocation and decide how if the space are just as shared, like today, on-street parking is shared in between different users, but in some area it could be just dedicated to one usage, like a delivery area or a space for disabled people, which can be really allocated to one people. And another thing that will happen more and more, it's to be able to dynamically change this allocation. For example, delivery space might be reserved and just for delivery in the morning, early in the morning, and become a payment and open a shared space during the day for all driver, and perhaps only reserved to a resident during the night. So the possibility to make also this dynamic allocation is important. On this map and all this, the cities need to define is regulation. So regulation is mainly tariff and rights. Who has the right to park his car here? Is there any tariff? Tariff could be a payment, but it could be also the max time allowed to park. So it's based on, could be put it on a map on the different space. Could depend on user vehicle types and mobility mode. More and more, for example, already in on-street, you have some area where you have a special tariff for a car sharing system. It's still a car, but it's not the same use, then we have to recognize this kind of car sharing system. Financial consolidation, on the first slide before, I show some different omni-channel user interface, but it's not only, it could come from different channels. So it could be physical or internet or mobile application, but it also very often comes from different operators or different suppliers. In some cities, you have up to 8 different mobile phone payment suppliers. So at the end, the city need to concentrate and consolidate all the sales, all the different payments of the different systems. Monitoring, so yeah, that's also the cities, if they want to verify if their policy is adapted to the need. If the usage of the thing is really clear, they need to get all information. So you have a lot of information about occupancy, tickets, uses, and also information from control and respect to make some analysis or open data. So to have this working, you need something in the middle. So this already exists also. It's in the middle. You have a hub, a parking hub. I put Flowbird because in Flowbird we have this hub, but a parking hub which concentrates all the different sales from the different channels, who distribute all the rules, rules being tarification, the rights on the different channel and different vendors, and concentrate all this into the back office of the cities to be able to manage and change tariff and as it is. So there is nothing new on that. It's connected to control system. So it could be PDAs or it could be scan cars, vehicle with cameras or cameras fixed on streets. It's also, depending on countries, connected to some national or to some data. Open data like when you have your car license with your vehicle number, and we can know all the characteristics of cars, which could, with a license plate entry on a terminal, you can directly define a tariff based on emissions or on the weight of the vehicle. So that already exists, and some other kind of a central database. And what's only missing to manage all the use of the curbside is to connect this system with mobility operator. So to know, because when the declaration of parking of the different other equipment will be made mainly by the operator for vehicle delivery, for shared vehicle like scooters or car sharing system. And just by entering this into the system, we are able to verify and to register the vehicle in the system and use the same kind of the same control infrastructure. And the city gets all the information directly on its database and on the map, and to really apply this regulation to all the different operators, like it is made today for on-street parking. Okay, just this hub is mainly made of different modules which distribute the rights and get all the control and make the interface with the different sales channel and different operators, and made check payment, sales, all the different things, and make the interface with control. So quite easily, digital parking on street today which is already the situation and the solution which is made in most of the country and used by by the cities, integrate omni-channel user interface with digital tickets and digital rights, where you use mainly the license plate as an ID to make these different rights, with online control and enforcement. So this is already installed in most of the city. More and more, it goes further in terms of digital map, so to really map the curb and give some different tarification or different rights to really differentiate up to the space the different area. And so to use this interface for curbside management, it just required to have this interface with mobility service operator or logistics service operator, and to define the regulation the city wants to put on this specific space for this new delivery space, and the system is already available for cities to manage this part of things. And just, okay, as a conclusion, so I'm at the end. I'm open to any question from you so on this presentation.
Yes, we
Thanks
have
a
a
lot.
question over here. Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello. I was just wondering, when you're talking about users and cars, like what is your right to a parking space based on the individual's identity, or is it based upon the car and its license plate? So how do you deal with one person driving two different types of vehicles, or one vehicle that's driven by two different people?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what,
I understand. Okay. Today, okay. If it's vehicle types, that's quite easy because it depends on the vehicle. That's okay. Can have the level of emissions or something that depends on the vehicle.
Sorry,
For the user type, means you need to associate one user to a vehicle. So it goes through enrollment system or a kind of subscriber system. So today in cities, for example, you have system where if you are a resident, you go to the city hall, and you go with your a proof of your residence and a proof that you have a vehicle. And depending on the city, you may have one vehicle only, or two, or more. That's a vehicle decision. And the same for a professional. Professionals, they come and they declare to the city their vehicle. If you go for car sharing system, that's also, here it's the car sharing operators who goes to the city, gives a list of vehicle on his fleet, and gets some rights, depends on the city. It could be a permit, a yearly permit, or it could be a payment each time the car stay on street.
Great, thank you for the question. Anyone else? Yes, I'm going to start with the gentleman over here.
Thank you.
I'm Peter.
Would it be possible to make a reservation for a specific space on street, for example, for delivering vehicles?
We're working on this subject, what we call smart delivery zone. So there is different. Okay, that's clearly, and we're looking for trials for that as Flowbird, because we are developing things on that. So we can clearly identify the smart delivery zone. We can put a regulation. Regulation can be for a time spent, so it could be a period of time, or it could be free, it could be payment, or it could be a free time plus payment if you exceed. And we're also looking for the capability to book the space, which is not so easy because all the logistic and things that have to be taken into account. It's not the booking which is complicated, is when you book and you are not on time, you have like a domino effect on all the different space, and okay, that's need to be tested on city to see if it's efficient or not. But okay, we are developing things to do it.
Thank you. Thanks for the question as well. And gentleman over here, go ahead.
Thank you. Imagine you are a stranger in the city. You occasionally, or you are first time there.
Yeah.
You don't understand the language. You don't have the local currency. How do you think these systems will develop to serve this kind of clients.
Yeah, that's why I call about omni-channel. It's still important for us, for the people. If you only have a mobile app, generally mobile app is private app, and even mobile app is not in all cities, especially when you change from one country to the other. You may not be a subscriber of the app. So it happens to me. Some time ago, I go to vacation in Croatia, and okay, there is only mobile app, and I did not have the app, so I was not able to park on streets. I have to find a garage, or I risk to be fined. So what I call about inclusive and accessible is we really think that we need to keep a terminal, because terminal, when you park your car, terminal is here. Now it's more and more digital, so you have a large screen. Today, the last generation of terminal, it's an iPad. You have an iPad in front of you with multi-language, and as a visitor, you understand, or you can select your language, and you will be informed right on the service location without looking for an app or going to Google to know how to pay. And it accepts credit card. If you travel, you have coins, euro coins or credit cards, so you can pay with a parking terminal. So it's why it's also important to keep both and to be inclusive and to have accessibility to your cities, information and payment. I don't know if you understand or if you agree or not.
Oh, hold on. No,
No, not really, not really.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you have credit card, but the system doesn't work with credit card, only with coins, but this is another currency, and you at the moment don't have the coins, and you're 1,000 something, nobody cannot exchange.
In this case, I really have no solution, because you don't pay and you
don't pay, you don't park,
or you go somewhere else, but where a machine works. But
yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, you pay, you park. Yeah.
That's nothing really new. But
Thank you.
when you remove coins, it's more complicated, I think. But
Yeah. Maybe just one more. Yeah.
In that iPad or that interface you mentioned, if you could maybe download the web page, because you cannot get applications sometimes. If it would be internet interface, but you can make, and you can make some payment with no coins and no credit card, with something which could be applicable for the people when you are talking about the digitization. Thank you.
You know that we are using on digital. You may pay with PayPal, with Apple Pay, with a lot of things. But at the end, you still need a level of payment accepted in a country. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you as well for your. We have a question here.
So I've been seeing more and more electric chargers, like EV chargers, are being implemented on the curbside also.
Yes.
So I was wondering, what is Fullbird's perspective to the integration of these EV chargers in your application?
I did not emphasize a lot on that, because you see, I speak just at the beginning. So the same for us. We integrate. So the idea is to have to have this space reserved for EVs, because it's you have a charger that you use the same interface. So you can and we also have made development, and this is already installed. You can today pay for the energy and for the time you spend on streets on this public lane through a parking terminal or the parking app. So you pay both, because in a lot of cities, you need the space is really crowded, and the cost or the value of the parking space is more important than the value of the energy. And when in country where you have a lot of cars, a lot of EV cars, just have a look on Scandinavia. At the beginning, it's free. Everything is free. When you have 80% or 60% of EV, there is not enough chargers, there is not enough space, and you are completely crowded with EV, so you need to have them to share the space to share the charger,
Yeah.
and so you reintroduce payments like you do with a thermal car today.
Great.
So we are doing this, and today it's more Scandinavian, but it goes down. When number of EV is sufficient, payments is reintroduced.
Great. I think that's
Anything
it.
else? Well,
Thank you. Thank you very
you.
much.
Thank
Can we have
you.
a round of applause?
Thank you.
Great. Are you okay to get down here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay.
I'm just see if I can get up here. Yep, that works. Thank you for joining us here. At 4:15, we have a panel discussion about parking management as a game changer for urban mobility. And that is Theo Thuis from Q-Park will be joining that, Bastiaan Pigge, who is from the city of Rotterdam, and it will be moderated by Ivo Krey, who is from Polis. So if you're interested, please stay seated, and otherwise, please enjoy the rest of the show. Bye.